Hello students, once again welcome to my YouTube channel Ajas Tutorial. Myself Ajay Barua and I will discuss various topics of economics in this channel. Students, today we are going to discuss about a very important topic of economics, that is utility. And we also discuss various types and features of utility. Generally, utility means needs or wants, but in economics, utility means the power of a commodity which satisfies the human wants. Students, before discussing this topic, let's say first about the assumptions. So number one is consumers should be rational. Number two is consumers income should be same. Number three is consumable product should be homogeneous. Number four is consumable product should be in normal size. Number five is no exist of substitute or complementary goods. Students, I already said that utility is the power of a commodity which satisfies human wants. Now let's see my simple explanation. Again, I start this utility. So utility, what I should say, utility is the power. Utility is the power or ability or capacity. Okay, utility is the power or ability or capacity of what? Of a commodity. Of a commodity. Commodity. Utility is the power or ability or capacity of a commodity which satisfies human wants. Okay, which satisfies human wants. Okay. So students, you see that utility is the power or ability or capacity of a commodity which satisfies human wants. So simple. Students, suppose you are hungry and you take some food. Here in this case, food is the commodity. Okay, food is the commodity. Food is the commodity. Okay, and this commodity has that sufficient amount of power. Food is the commodity, and this commodity has that sufficient amount of power which satisfies the human wants, and in this case your wants. Okay, so student, utility is the one satisfying power of a good. The more the stronger the aspiration to have it, the more is the utility procured from the goods. Students, you may already know that what is utility. Now let's see about its various features. Now number one is utility is a subjective concept. This means that it is relative and differ from person to person, place to place, and time to time. Students, for instance, someone who likes sweet will get much higher utility than him who does not like. As we see in the picture, you can understand easily. Number two is utility is a relative concept. It's a relative concept as it is related to a certain time and place. In other words, utility differs with time and place. For instance, as you see in your screen that the utility derived from cotton will be more in the summer season, and the utility derived from woolen clothes will be more in the winter season. Students, as you can also say that the utility of woolen will be more in north areas like Simla rather than south areas such as Tamil Nadu. Thus, a utility is said to be a relative concept. Number three is no cardinal measurement. Students, utility can't be measured numerically. It can only be ranked as 1, 2, 3 and so on. For instance, an individual prefers ice cream than coffee, which implies that utility of ice cream is given rank 1. and coffee as rank 2. Number 4 feature of utility is it is intangible. It means that it can't be seen, it can't be touched. You can only feel it. Okay. 5 number feature is utility is multi-purpose. Students, sometimes you can get various utility from one product. As you see in the picture, we can use electricity to get utility from TV, AC, refrigerator, etc. You can also get the example of coil. You can use coil to generate electricity. You can also use coil in industrial purpose also. The next feature is utility is differ from pleasure. To understand this point, students, you can get the example of medicine. Suppose you are ill, okay, then your utility will be medicine or injection. But after taking injection or medicine, you may not get pleasure, as you may get it by taking your favorite food like pizza, etc. And so this is differ from pleasure. And number 7 feature is utility is differ from usefulness. Students, we can easily understand this point through an example. As you see in the picture that for a smoker, he can get the utility from the cigarette, but as you all know that there is no usefulness of cigarette. Actually, cigarette smoking is injurious to health, so we can say that utility is differ from usefulness. And the last feature is utility is differ from satisfaction. Utility is different from satisfaction in the sense that utility is the cause and satisfaction is the effect, or we can say utility is the beginning part and satisfaction is the last part. And the utility is the inherent ability of the commodity to satisfy a want, and satisfaction is what comes from the consumption of that commodity. So students, we can also say that utility is differ from satisfaction. Students, now we will discuss about the types of utility. So number 1 is form utility. It means changing of shape and size of the product or commodity that will create utility. Okay. Suppose you can get the example of wood. In this case, you can transform the form of wood to furniture like a table, chair, etc. And what the utility you get from the furniture is called form utility. Okay. The next one is place utility. In this case, we can say that goods or commodity can be transferred from one place to another place for a place utility. You can get the example of apple. In this case, you know that apple is mainly produced in Kashmir, and they are supplied to various states where there is the demand of apple, and this was the place utility. The third number is time utility. Time utility is providing the customer his desired goods at the time when he requires them, depending upon the everyday needs, holding season, or weather conditions. Consumer demand changes, ensuring that the goods are delivered to the consumers at the right time forms the time utility. For example, you can say umbrella is used mainly in rainy season as compared to non-rainy season. So student, it was the time utility. The next one is service utility. Okay. So service utility is the utility created by providing service to someone, and such services are generally provided by professionals in the society. As for example, you can say the knowledge given by teacher to his or her student, or treatment given by a doctor to his or her patient. Okay, so this was service utility. The last one is possession utility. Possession means what transfer of ownership from one person to another person. As you see in the picture that the mobile is transferred from the store to consumer. So students, let's say about the criticism. Number 1 is if consumer is not a rational one, then utility analysis will not be valid. Number 2 is if consumer's income is not same. Number 3 is if consumable product is not homogeneous, and number 4 is if consumable product is not in normal size. And number 5 is if there exist substitute or complementary goods. So students, I think you understand today's topic, and that is utility. What is utility, what is the various features and types of utility. Students, if you have any confusion, then you can WhatsApp me. My WhatsApp number is given at the last of the video. Students, in our next video we will discuss about the total utility and marginal utility. For today, goodbye.